Hello and good evening, this is Ruth Pozuelo from Curbal.com, and today is time again for DAX Fridays. And we are going to talk about user relationship function. Really useful, and I'm going to show you right away why. This function was requested by Deepak. He didn't request it like that. He said that he would like if I would do a video about how to handle inactive relationships, and to do that you actually use user relationship function. So I thought this was a great opportunity to present a new function and take care of how to handle inactive relationships. So let's go through how user relationship works in a Power BI file and an example. So here we have the Nothwind dataset. This is a dataset that you can access for free, and I have a video explaining how to do that, so make sure you check it out in the description box. And this dataset has a data table that we've created. It has customers, products and orders, and for today's video we're going to look at the orders table. And this is a very common business scenario where a facts table has more than one date. In this case, we have three. We have the order date, the required date, and the ship date. And if we go to the relationships, we will see that the three order dates are related, of course, to our date table. And because the three of them are related to the same, you will see here, to the same field, of course, the date field, we will have one active relationship and then two inactive relationships. I have a video explaining these, explaining relationships in Power BI and what an active relationship and inactive relationship is, so make sure you check that out. But I'm going to very briefly go through that also here. If you want to do a deep dive, check that video. It is also in the description box. So an active relationship, let's go and do in our order details table. We have the total sales, which is a calculated column, unit price, quantity, discount. So we are going to take that column and we're going to create a measure. And the reason I create a measure is because I always like to create measures on columns, even if this is a calculated column. So let's call it total sales, and that will be the sum of total sales. So now we have our measure. And hide my calculated column. There you go. And if I pull the date here, we put it as a date, and I even include the sales. Let's put it as a table so we actually can see. This is actually using the active date, which in this case is the order date, to give us the total sales. Okay? So this is important to know. Okay, just so you really understand what's going on, let's go back to the relationships table, and we're going to make the active relationship inactive. So now you see that they are all three dashed. You see there? And now we're going to get the required date, for example, and make that active. And let's see what happens in here. As you can see, the total sales number changes because it's actually now counting on the required date instead of the order date. Now, it is of course not practical to have the user go and activate or inactivate relationships depending on which state they want to use. So what we're going to use is we're going to again go back and have our order date as active, because that is the one that we're going to base all our calculations on. But of course we want to have also the number of sales or the total sales for required date. So for that's when we use the user relationship function. So let's do the measure. So we are going to call it total sales by required date. Make sure when you have more than one date and more than one total sales that you actually are telling your users what that measure is, what is actually measuring. So we will write total sales by required date. Now, user relationship requires calculate. So we have calculate and then we have the total sales. But now we're going to tell Power BI to use actually the inactive relationship. And for that we use user relationships. And then we tell them that it is our order required date that should match our dim date. Okay, there we go. And of course it always ends up on the wrong place. We are going to put in our order details. That's where we have all the total sales. These we should change total sales by order date, right? So it is super clear what we're actually doing. So here we have it. Now we have total sales by order date and we have total sales by required date. If we drop that one here, we will see different sums, and that is because in here is using the total sales, calculating the total sales by order date, and here by required date, and this is why you don't see the same numbers. Okay, so if we want to calculate the total sales by ship date, we do exactly the same thing. I'm just going to copy it. I wish we could copy measures. And here we have ship date. And here instead of required date, we are going to have ship date. And we add it in here. And it will give us the solution. So now you know how to manage and use inactive relationships in your Power BI models. So this is all for today. If you liked the video, let me know by liking it. If you have any comments, questions or suggestions, let me know either in the description box or in any of the social channels listed below. And subscribe. I publish Power BI videos every week. Have a great evening. Bye.